Hey, everybody. My name is Courtney McIntyre. I am with I am a pediatric sleep consultant for Sleep Little One Consulting. I am also the founder of it. And today I have a great video for you about the 5 physical milestones that can disrupt your little one's sleep. So this might not be well known to some, and it might be known by some, especially people who have more than one kid, because it gets pretty well known that when your little one starts doing a doing something physically that is a milestone for them, that it can really disrupt their sleep. They tend to want to practice at all times. So I wanted to talk about that, and I wanted to bring awareness to it, and so new parents or even parents who have other kids can be aware of this and know what to do when it happens. So I'll give you like one of my personal stories about this. It happened with all of my kids. Obviously, they all hit physical milestones, and it did disrupt all of their sleep. But my 2 girls, my older kids, were a lot better sleepers than my son is. My son, well, I just say he's the reason I became a sleep consultant because, yeah, the sleep was never great with him. So harder to tell when he was having a hard time with sleep or hitting, or that a physical milestone was disrupting his sleep, because it was never really that good until I started sleep training him, of course. But one story that I have, and I could tell many, but this one story I have was with my oldest daughter. And she was around 8 months old. And she started to wake a lot during the night, like all the time. She was waking up every so frequently at night, and it just wasn't like her, not at this age. And she was even waking from her naps as well. And I clearly remember one night, after what seemed like literally the 100th freaking time she woke up. I got up from my bed and I was so tired and exhausted, and I was staring at her baby monitor, just like, why is this happening to me? And I looked at her, and she was holding onto the side of her crib, and she was smiling. Like, she was so happy to have accomplished standing there on the side of her crib. And then it hit me. She just learned how to pull herself up onto things. She started walking not long after that, but she was pulling herself up onto things, and she was so proud of herself. She loved to do that. She loved to practice, and it hit me. That is what's happening every time she wakes. She's standing on the side of the crib like that, just so happy and smiling. And it hit me. That's why she's waking. She's practicing what she's learned. And she's doing it when she should be sleeping. And yeah, so I finally realized it's because she's pulling herself up to sleep. I mean, up to stand, and she wants to practice her new skill. This probably sounds familiar to you. You probably have a little one who just learned how to roll over, or maybe they learned how to sit up, or maybe they learned how to crawl or walk. And when they're in their crib, they're practicing that when they should be sleeping. And you're like, why are you doing this? So that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about that's why it's happening. I just explained it. And I want to talk about what you can do to prevent this from happening as much, at least, if not at all. And I do want to mention quickly that although there are physical milestones that can disrupt sleep, there's also mental developments that can disrupt sleep as well. Ones that we can't see, but they are going through just as much, and it can disrupt their sleep just as easily. So, for example, from newborn up to the age of, well, I would say 2 or 3, but I'll specifically say between their first year of life, they go through a lot of things that we don't even see happening, that can also disrupt their sleep. So please keep that in mind as well, because it can be just as disruptive. But anyways, let's get into it. What are the 5 physical milestones, the developmental milestones that little ones go through? Well, of course, the first one usually is rolling over. This usually occurs around 3 to 7 months old. And it's pretty dependent on the weight of your little one and the muscle development that they've established. So the stronger the neck, back, and head muscles, like the stronger the muscles around here, the more easier it is for them to roll over. So that will happen around, like I said, 3 to 7 months. So sitting up, that's usually the next one that happens. And that can happen around 6 months old with assistance, and then around 7 to 9 months old without assistance. And then crawling is usually the next one. And this physical development will occur around 6 to 8 months. But some may skip this step altogether and just go to standing and walking, or they may like scoot instead of actually crawling. And then the next one, number 4, would be standing. And this milestone, it has 3 parts to it. It starts off with a pull to stand, like my daughter at the time was doing in her crib. So they pull to stand, and that'll usually occur around 6 to 10 months old, followed by being able to stand alone for about 2 seconds or so. And that usually occurs around 9 to 12 months old. And then this ends with standing independently by themselves. And this will occur usually around 10 to 14 months old. And then the last major physical development that your little one will go through is walking. This one is probably the biggest milestone that they'll achieve, and at least in their first year of life. And it will occur anywhere as early as 9 to 10 months old, and sometimes even as late as 17 months old, give or take. So I just want to be really clear right here that these milestones that I have given you, the dates for them, they're just a guideline. Some little ones hit them sooner, some later. It's just a guideline I'm giving you to go by so you know when these physical milestones might happen and when the sleep may be disrupted. They're no means meant to say they should be hitting them at this time perfectly, or something's wrong. So it's totally normal to hit them earlier, later. Every baby is different, so don't think something's wrong with your baby. More than likely everything is fine. But if you do have a concern about that, if they're not hitting the milestones, or maybe it's taking a really, really, really long time, then please go talk to your doctor, just to make sure everything is all right, and get their opinion on it, because I cannot give you that opinion. I am not a doctor. So anyways, what can be done during this time? It's so frustrating when your little one is, they're hitting that physical milestone, and it's so great, but it's also disrupting their sleep, and it's exhausting and tiring, and it's not fun. Sometimes even for them, they can even get frustrated because it's a lot. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming for everybody. So what can be done? So it's helpful for them and you if you can be patient and compassionate with them during this time. I know that's hard because they're fussy and their mood is like clingy, and when they're doing this, when they're going through it, they're not acting like their normal selves. And of course, their sleep is completely messed up. But trust me when I say that your mood and your reactions to what is going on can make a huge difference. So if you're getting super frustrated all the time, and impatient with them, and all that, then it will definitely affect their mood. But when you can be passionate and understanding and showing care and love, even though it's really hard sometimes, it will make a huge difference for you. So just try to keep that in mind, and understand that this issue of them learning this new milestone will pass. It will pass. It will not last forever. So keep that in mind and understand that you just need to get through this. Of course, there'll be another one coming soon, but just get through that moment and understand that it won't last forever. It will pass, and stay consistent with your sleep training methods. Now is not the time to start assisting them to sleep. That will create issues that you'll have to deal with after they have achieved this physical milestone. So make sure you stick with your sleep training methods and you are not assisting them to sleep, even though you may want to really badly sometimes. Don't do it, trust me. And a really helpful thing that you can do, if your little one wakes from sleep and they start to practice their new skill, let them be. Let them do it. Don't rush in there and run to them. Even if they get frustrated and are like getting upset, leave them. Let them try to sort it out on their own. That's how they learn, for one thing. And another reason is because they can actually learn to get themselves unstuck. and they might even put themselves back to sleep. So just leave them be. But if you find that they're truly, truly stuck, they really actually need your help and they're screaming, then you can definitely go in, but only to help them get unstuck. Once they're unstuck, get out of there again, be as quick as you can. No talking, no interactions really. Get out and yeah, leave them to either continue practicing their new skill or go back to sleep. If they don't happen to go back to sleep, of course, you can get them up once you know they're definitely not going to be going back to sleep. Get them out and offer their new nap when their next nap, excuse me, when needed. And the last tool that I'm going to give you is this might be the most important one to help your little ones sleep better during their naps and at night, is to make sure during their wake times, that you let them practice their skill as much as possible. Practice, 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 practice. When they are during their wake times, do it as much as you can. Let them practice and be careful not to rush in and help them anytime they start getting upset. Try to let them sort it out on their own. Anyways, that is all I have for you guys today. Please understand, the most important thing here is this will pass. So stay consistent with your sleep training routines, and practice as much as you can, or let them practice as much as they can during their wake times. And just understand that it will pass and you'll get through this, and so will they. And it shows that they're growing and they're normal and they're learning, and it's actually a wonderful thing if you think about it. So anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. If you like this video, give it a like, share it with other people that it can help. And I'd love for you to join my group, Sleep a Little One, where I give weekly tips and advice to parents just like you, who maybe aren't looking for a sleep consultant, but they're looking for advice and tips on sleep and how they can improve their little one's sleep. So I have the link in the description box. Hope to see you there. If you are in fact looking for a sleep consultant, obviously I am one. I offer personalized one-on-one plans that pertain to your individual family, your baby's needs, what you need personally, and I have amazing packages. So if you would like to, you can go to the link in my description box, www.sleeplittle1.org, check out my packages and send me an email, and we can get you on the road to better sleep. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.